Now that the Mary-Kate and Ashley segment of our Wick Live is over, we'll move on to our final segment, Kayla Knierim's continuing journey into the heart of Game of Thrones.
Could we get some special music leading into that?
I think we should. We'll look out for some.
Okay, Richard?
We'll work on that. I mean, right now, just go play something. Here, I got it. Okay, that's enough.
Dan, that was good.
Thank you.
Okay, I feel ready now.
Kayla's watching one episode at a time. This week was
I can't believe we're already 6 weeks into this. It's gone by fast.
Has it gone by fast?
It has.
All right, that's why I think it's a good thing. It doesn't feel like an eternity.
No.
Anyway, this one is a big one.
It's picking up.
It is picking up. It's getting faster and faster. And this one is important. It's a golden crown. And let's not bury the lead. This is the one we're kind of known in the fan community as the one where Viserys dies.
Which this is kind of the first bigger character that's died.
This is the first big character who dies.
I didn't think he was going to die this quickly.
Really? Why not?
You kind of made it sound like he hangs around for a while.
Did I?
I don't know. Maybe I implied that. No, so yeah, I was surprised that he died. I was kind of happy, but...
Yeah, so were you happy to see him go? So you're not a big fan of Viserys, as a lot of people aren't.
I wasn't, no. He creeps me out. He's gross and...
Can you see any of his position? Like, he seemed a little desperate and sad toward the end, right? Like,
I thought for sure Daenerys was going to stop it. And she just sat there and watched it happen.
Why do you think she didn't?
I think she feels relieved because I think she's a little bit scared of him. She knows her power over him at this point.
Right.
And he knows it too, and that's why he's doing everything he can to try to, like, take her down or get back the power in some way, so.
The interpretation is that she did say, like, Viserys, stop it for a little while, but the second he puts the sword at her stomach, at her baby, is the moment she, like, checks out.
Yeah.
It's like, nope.
I didn't know what was going to happen there. I didn't know if he was going to kill her. I knew she didn't die, but, like, stab at least or go off on someone else. But, no, that was crazy. He melted the gold and dumped it on his head, and that was the end of him.
That was definitely a unique death. You don't see that happen much in many places. I think it's the first time I've ever seen
What a horrible way to die, now that I'm thinking of it.
He seemed to not go pretty quick. I remember enjoying, like, the clank his head made when he, like, hit the tape and just, like, they couldn't do that because they're not allowed to draw weapons in their sacred cities, so they had to improvise.
I think they cover every possible death scenario in the show.
You're probably right.
I'm convinced.
After the end of it, as it goes through a lot of it.
Goody. Something to look forward to.
Up the earlier scene where Daenerys is eating the horse heart.
Okay, that was disgusting. I got a little nauseous during that part. The sound effects, and then there's, like, blood all over her face and hands, and I thought I was going to throw up. But she doesn't, and that was the whole point, right? She had to keep it down.
Yeah, she had to, like, prove to the Dothraki that she's, like, tough enough for this.
What would have happened if she had thrown it up?
I don't know exactly. I don't
Not
know.
worthy?
Not worthy. I mean, it would have been embarrassing. It's like a ritual. It's like a ritual they're doing to kind of... It's like an elaborate frat hazing, but, like, on a grand cultural level. And I imagine if they didn't do it, I don't know, they worship some kind of horse god. That's why they did it in a horse heart, by the way, because they're...
Oh, I actually didn't know what heart it was.
It's the heart of a horse, because they're worship horses.
Gross.
But yeah, if I told us earlier, if it makes you feel better, people, if you also gross out by that, the horse heart was actually, like, made of a gummy bear-like substance.
So that made me feel a little better. Like Swedish fish.
Swedish fish. I remember I read in an interview, like, according to her, it was still hard to keep down, because that's a lot of gummy.
Well, yeah, by the time they go to her, though, she's, like, almost all the way through it.
Well, thank God that make us watch, like, the half hour to taken to eat it, yeah.
It looked very real, though. Well done on the,
There you go. Anyway,
effects.
Any thoughts on Jorah Mormont? He's really, that's the, gruff guy who's really in her corner now.
Yeah, and didn't the brother even call him out this episode? He's like, I know you like my sister, and I know what you want from her.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
Do you buy that?
A little. I mean, he's kind of just, he's almost like a father figure to her.
He's a lot
someone
older
that
than her.
looks out for her, makes sure she's safe and okay. And,
Sure.
I don't think it's weird yet, but
No, it's
we'll
not
see.
weird yet. He seems like a nice guy to me. He always
Yeah,
did.
I like him.
Yeah, good. Okay, so that's Daenerys. Any thoughts of where does it go now? I mean, her brother's dead, so the whole plan was for him to get the army and go over. What's she gonna do now?
I think she can handle it on her own
I think you're probably right.
once those dragons hatch.
You don't know that. Maybe they come in from somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, the final I want to talk about.
The hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did she put the egg in the fire?
You're not really told. She seemed to be under some kind of spell or had a compulsion to do it.
That was weird at first. She
was
like
weird all the
kind
way
of was
through.
like blank all the way, like all throughout her face. Puts the egg on the fire. Is it her servant or
One of her
maid?
handmaidens, attendants, whatever you want to call
Right,
them.
runs in. She's like, Daenerys, stop! And then takes the egg from her. Her hands are burnt, but Daenerys's aren't.
Right.
So I think she has special powers.
And at the end, she said, "He wasn't a real dragon. Fire
Because-
cannot kill a dragon."
Yeah. Oh!
Oh,
She did say that. I wrote
linking
that
it
down.
up.
Okay.
Excellent. So that's Daenerys. An eventful week for Daenerys, I thought.
Yeah, I like her character.
Good. Although note that I forgot that we didn't go to the wall at all this week again.
We didn't.
No Jon Snow or Samwell Tarly.
Nope.
Oh well. Let's head on to the Vale. We check in with the wild adventures of Tyrion Lannister.
I love him. He's actually becoming one of my favorites. He's very sarcastic and just very, nothing really phases him, it seems like.
Right.
He doesn't ever freak out in situations. Well, a little bit he did. In the guard, he was like, I'll give you money if you let me go.
I remember really enjoying like him trying to explain the concept of like ladder ownership to this guy who doesn't really get it.
It's like, I don't have it here with me, but you will get it.
Tries to wrap his head around that.
Right, so then he goes before the queen?
No, Lysa Arryn is just the, because Jon Arryn's widow, so she's the kind of the, you can call her a governor, like the governor of the Vale, which is one of the seven kingdoms.
Okay.
You got like the north,
She
right?
makes me uncomfortable. Her and her
Oh,
son.
of course.
Weird.
She makes everyone uncomfortable.
So he goes before her, confesses his sins, his, what does he call it?
Sins, just a long litany of, I mean, he didn't really just kind of bullshitted around for a minute.
Right, it was
about-
hilarious. He wasn't taking it seriously at all.
Right.
And then they decide to trial by combat.
By combat. What do you think of that? What do you think of that notion? It's a good idea, trial by combat. Should we have those here?
As long as I don't have to be involved.
You can appoint champions, as you can see. You don't have
Right.
to actually do it yourself.
Okay, so yes, he did appoint someone.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the appointee? His name is Bronn. He's been around for a couple episodes now, but this is the first time he's really like had a important moment. Why would he volunteer for Tyrion?
Maybe because he knew he could win, or because he wants something from him.
Right. I mean, if you know, Tyrion's been saying for a while things like, you know, a Lannister always pays his debts.
I'm rich.
A Lannister's very, very rich. I think the implication is that Bronn knows this, and
Right.
he's thinking, I defend this guy, I'm going to get paid at some point down the line.
Okay, that
Like
makes
more,
sense.
like more than I can get paid by this crazy lady who breastfeeds her kid, or the upstanding Northern Catelyn Stark woman who seems like a nice lady, but maybe isn't incredibly deep pockets.
Okay, yeah,
Which makes him kind of opportunistic, though, right?
a little, but he did save his life,
He did save his life. I mean, yeah, he did what he said he would do.
so he followed through.
That sword fight, what you think of that? It's kind of fun.
That was crazy.
It was good.
So is this castle just like floating in the clouds? I'm so confused.
This is the eerie. I mean, we saw him go up to this. It's like built on a mountaintop.
Okay, and there's just a hole in the middle,
The moon door, yes.
where people just fall to their death.
I think that's the way of executing people. Like,
Okay.
instead of like cutting off their heads or I don't know, hanging them, just like push.
Terrifying. Okay, so yeah, so then Tyrion leaves. Oh, and he pays the guard.
He did
which I
because the
liked.
Lannister pays his debts.
He got his coins back or whatever they were and threw them at him, and he even told him.
I mean, he promised he would.
he did.
What about Catelyn Stark? Where's that leave her?
With no leverage. She doesn't. I mean, back at square one, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. And now she's with her crazy breastfeeding sister. So just, I think just in worse shape than she was.
The name is just too much.
The name? Her name is, like, just call her Lysa.
Well, your name for her.
Okay.
Bran.
Yeah, stop by the north real quick. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened, but
He got his saddle
yeah, he seemed to be enjoying it, right?
until he encountered some crazy woodland people.
Crazy woodland people.
I don't know what to call them. You called them, I think, hobos.
I don't know hobo types, but really what they are, and they don't really talk about this, is they are wildlings,
Oh,
which means people who live on the other side of the wall.
okay.
And they're come down here for some reason.
How'd they get there?
They take boats.
Oh, Okay.
Why would they come down here, do you think?
To steal? To
They,
kill?
they did mention we're trying to go as far south as we can because there are no White Walkers down south.
But don't the White Walkers supposedly not exist?
But we know better than that. And people north of the wall know better than that.
Okay.
Like everyone south of the wall, yeah, they don't exist. They're old fairy tales. People north of the wall, like they've seen some stuff.
Okay.
So I think that's the reason. And yeah, they accosted him. I will tell you that the woman who kind of begged for her life will become a recurring character.
Oh, I was going to say, because they said she could keep her life and then she was thanking them, but she's probably going to have to like do something in return.
I mean, yeah, her name's Osha. I like her. And we'll just find out. I'm not sure a whole lot of stuff went on there. Any other comments on the brand scene?
No.
All right, and let's move on to the other big media episode, which is King's Landing, which I know some big developments.
There were.
I mean, okay, so here's a major question for you. So Ned is okay, more or less.
The opening scene when it's Ned, the king, and queen, they're all fighting, and then the king slaps her.
Right, what do you think of that?
Well, I don't condone abuse, but she
course.
kind of deserved it.
Whoa, really? Deserves it? Well, I mean, I think it's always cool to try to put yourself in the shoes of of the characters, because I think with the show, one of the things the show does well is like kind of give you different perspectives. Like she's an awful person, we know that.
But she's the queen.
She's the queen, and think about like, what if her husband's been doing that for years?
What'd she say? She was going to wear it with
Like a badge
pride?
of honor.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, because like, you know, she made him lose his temper. She thinks that he's
got to
a
him.
clown. She got to him, yes. And it's shameful that he did that.
It is.
I mean, maybe she's been enduring this for years, and that's what's made her so hard. Something like that. Ever think about that perspective?
That's very true.
Because he's, you know, he's not the worst man in the world, but he has a temper.
He's not great.
No, he's not the best.
It's kind of blah.
Kind of, sure. I'll rate him a blah. I give him a C.
I give him a C. Average.
As a person. And then he went hunting. I mean, after...
So he just got up and left.
He just got up and left.
After he knows that Ned is mad and wants Jaime to come back.
Right.
And they want Tyrion let go.
And this whole Daenerys thing is still unresolved. Like, they didn't really come to an agreement on whether to kill her or not, and Ned still doesn't want to do it.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of dumb on his part.
He just left because he would rather, I think the thing is, he would rather just be off and enjoying himself because it's easier than
being king,
ruling and like, making decisions.
Taking
and stuff.
responsibility. So yeah, Ned's in charge at this point, and we see him at a council meeting, I guess.
He's sitting the Iron Throne. I think that's what the king does most of his day. He just receives petitioners who come in and say, I want this, I want that, and the king does what he can for him.
And so during that part, he somehow ordered Jaime to come back.
I mean, Jaime's left. What he did was these people from the Riverlands came, which is kind of like some peasants came in and said that the villages are being raided, their people are being killed. And it ends up that the Mountain, that mean man who cut the head off the horse last week, remember him?
Yes.
Is out there doing this.
Okay.
And he works for Big Papa Lannister, Tywin Lannister.
Do we know who that is?
Well, they mentioned a lot. We haven't met him, but we've talked
okay.
about it. He's Cersei and Jaime and Tyrion's dad.
Okay.
And he's like the head of the Lannister family. And he's ordering all these raids.
Lannister.
Papa Lannister, you can call him that. And he's ordering all these raids on the villages. And the reason he's doing that is because Tyrion's kidnapped. So this whole situation kind of spiraling out of control. And what Ned did was say, okay, I'm not going to stand for that. I'm going to go send people to stop him because they're harassing people.
Because Ned's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but let me ask you this. I mean, the king asked him to just send a letter to his wife and tell him to release Tyrion. And that might solve this whole situation.
And he didn't.
He didn't.
But yet Tyrion is still escaped.
But he doesn't know that.
Okay.
Like, we gotta remember, like, these are like miles, they don't have phones or anything. Like, you don't get news for a long time.
No texting.
No texting. Texting could solve so much in this show. But you gotta rely on birds that have things tied to their legs.
That should be a parody. Game of Thrones texting.
But my question to you is, so he didn't send the letter, which might have just resolved everything.
He's getting himself into trouble here.
Instead, he ordered them to go off and, fight the Lannister forces, which might lead to war, which will kill a lot of people. Is he making the right call here?
I think he's doing what he thinks needs to be done, but I think he also knows that it's going to start something because he's sending his daughters back to Winterfell.
Back. It's his plan.
And he said he wants, because it's for their safety.
Right, which, you get attacked in the streets by the queen's brother, you have reason to fear for your safety, and one of your men gets killed. It's not really a safe place.
But yeah, I think he knows exactly what he's doing, but I don't know that it's going to end well.
Gotcha. So do you think it's worth starting a big armed conflict rather than kind of swallowing your pride and just telling your wife, like, let the dwarf go?
I like Ned, so I'm on his side.
Okay, that's a perfectly fair thing. No problem with that at all.
I feel like he's a pretty level-headed guy.
He is a level-headed guy.
He wouldn't do anything.
Also, his family was attacked, so he is angry. I get that.
Someone tried to kill his son.
Someone tried to kill his son, which we still don't know who it was, by the way.
We don't. Do we ever find out?
Yeah, it's. You find out in the books. They drop hints. Kind of, sort of. You find out. There is someone who did it.
In season 1?
Not season 1, no.
Oh, great. How many seasons in?
I don't think they ever actually say who
but
did it.
But you find out who did?
On the show. In the books, they say who did it.
Is it one of the Lannisters?
I can't tell you that.
Ugh.
I'll reveal it when it should have been revealed on the show.
Okay, deal.
But one of the points of the show is it's not so much about, like, who did it is kind of unimportant once you get into the big conflict, and it starts being more about. I think it's part of the point. Like, these little tiny choices you make
are building up to a
big conflict, and does it really matter
between
what started
the Starks
it?
and Lannisters?
And that's part of the point. Maybe it's between the Starks and that lady who breastfeeds her kid. I don't know.
Her 10-year-old.
Anyway, so that's happening, and yeah, Sansa, Arya being sent home. What do you think of Sansa right now?
I think she's being a typical teenager.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, is she? Because some fans really do not like her in this. They say, like, oh, she's awful.
I don't think she's doing anything we didn't do at 13.
I was going to say,
is she 13?
Around that, 13, 14. I think she's like 13.
That's how all daughters are with their parents at that age.
She has like a cute boy she's really into, and her dad's telling her to go home.
Of course, she wants to stay with the boy she likes and is supposed to marry.
She had a conversation where like she's wearing her hair different now because it's so cool. She likes it.
Yeah, she's like, you're doing your hair like a Southerner. No, I think she's being true to that age. Yeah, she's being a brat, but that's how we are at that age.
I like that, because I will say I think a lot of fans got down on her, but like, cut her a break. She's like 13, she's kind of dumb, and she's not dumb, she's learning, she's ignorant.
Yeah, and then the prince came and gave her a necklace and apologized for treating her poorly, and
a cute boy gave her some jewelry, and that's going to cloud her mind.
And that was it.
Did you buy what he was saying to her?
I don't like him. He was weird.
Joffrey, yeah.
I can't figure him out. He just seems very.
Remember, he's the guy who, like,
he's a product of two
tried to kill
people.
Arya way back when on the King's Road.
Right? Yeah. I don't trust Joffrey.
No, I don't think you should.
Okay. I'll say.
Personally.
Take your word for it, Dan.
Okay. And the last big development was, I think Sansa was saying, like, I'll have his babies and they'll be golden haired, and then Ned had a little revelation, went back, looked at the book. Remember this bit? And he was like, oh, all the Baratheons, which is Robert family, have black hair, black hair, black hair.
I saw him doing that. I didn't know what he meant by that.
Let's see if I can make some dots for you.
Okay, so that is not a product of the king.
So whose product is
it? It's Jaime's.
That's kind of what it's starting to look like, isn't it?
Ew! Oh my gosh!
I love it.
Kayla
realized that the kids are actually the product of twincest live on the air. This is great. Okay.
That's why he looks funny.
That's why he looks
There's something
funny.
weird about
and
him.
Remember, they have 2 other kids too. Like 2 little ones.
Have we seen them?
We've seen them. Not a lot, but they were in the premiere in the second episode a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
They're younger ones. And they're both blonde hair too.
Oh no.
So
the king doesn't have kids.
The king doesn't have kids.
There's no heir to the throne.
He's been cuckolded. There's no heir to the throne. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That could mean trouble. I mean, that means that Joffrey is illegitimate. That means that he can't inherit. That means that
he's not
the entire line of succession is thrown out of whack.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait for all the episodes to come. Do all these storylines play out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Any other thoughts before we sign off?
Not that I can think of. The beer is good. Thanks again.
Good. Thanks, Brewy. Gang.
Do you have any final thoughts? Do we have any questions?
No more questions. Just a lot of people saying hi. I've got Stephanie D from Australia saying hi. I've got
Hi, Stephanie from Australia. That's cool.
I've got Jen L from Alberta, Canada, also saying hello.
We love our friends to the north in Canada.
To the north.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. This is Wick Live. That is Dan Selke. I'm Kayla Canarum. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye, my brothers.
Blah, blah, blah.